Under the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, COPPA, at what age does a child's online data require parental consent for collection by websites and online services? A 13 and under, B 16 and under, C 18 and under, D. There is no age limit. Parental consent is always required. Correct answer, A. Explanation. COPPA requires websites and online services that collect information from children under the age of 13 to obtain parental consent before collecting, using, or disclosing any personal information from a child. This law aims to protect children's privacy and safety online by giving parents control over what information is collected from their young children. Question: which U.S. law requires financial institutions to explain their information sharing practices to customers and to safeguard sensitive data? A. The Fair Credit Reporting Act, FCRA. B. The Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA. C. The Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act, GLBA. D. The Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, FERPA. Correct answer, C. Explanation. The Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act, GLBA, requires financial institutions to explain their information sharing practices to their customers and to protect sensitive data. The GLBA is designed to protect consumers' personal financial information held by financial institutions and their service providers. Question: what principle is emphasized by the Fair Information Practice Principles, FIPPs, regarding individual control over personal information? A. Transparency and accountability. B. Data minimization and purpose limitations. C. Notice and consent. D. Security and integrity. Correct answer, C. Explanation. The Fair Information Practice Principles, FIPPs, highlight the importance of notice and consent, providing individuals with clear notice of data collection practices and obtaining their consent before collecting, using, or disclosing personal information. These principles form the foundation of privacy protection in the United States and emphasize the need for transparency and individual choice regarding personal data. Question: in the context of U.S. privacy law, what does the right to be forgotten refer to? A. The right of individuals to have their data deleted from search engine results. B. The right of consumers to opt out of the sale of their personal information. C. The obligation of data brokers to delete personal information upon request. D. There is no explicitly defined right to be forgotten in U.S. privacy law. Correct answer, D. Explanation: unlike the European General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, which explicitly provides a right to be forgotten, U.S. privacy law does not currently define or widely recognize such a right. The concept involves allowing individuals to have certain data about them deleted so that third persons can no longer trace them, but its application in the US is more limited and sector-specific than in the EU. Question: under the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, COPPA, what is required of operators collecting personal information from children under 13? A. Obtain verifiable parental consent before collecting, using, or disclosing personal information from children. B. Provide a detailed description of what the Internet is to children before collecting any personal information. C. Allow children to opt out of personal information collection at any time. D. Collect personal information from children under 13 without any specific requirements. Correct answer, A. Explanation: COPPA requires operators of websites or online services directed to children under 13 and those who knowingly collect personal information from children under 13 to obtain verifiable parental consent before collecting, using, or disclosing such information. This law aims to protect children's privacy by giving parents control over the information collected from their children online. Question: what principle is central to the Fair Information Practice Principles, FIPPs, and is considered a cornerstone of privacy protection in the US? The principle of data minimization. B. The principle of transparency. C. The principle of individual participation. D. The principle of security. Correct answer, B. Explanation: the principle of transparency is central to the Fair Information Practice Principles, FIPs, and is considered a foundational element of privacy protection in the United States. It requires that entities collecting and using personal information must disclose their information practices and policies openly. This allows individuals to make informed decisions about their personal information. Question: under the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act, GLBA, financial institutions are required to A. Provide customers with a privacy notice at the time the customer relationship is established and annually thereafter. B. Encrypt all customer information both stored and in transit. C. Obtain explicit consent from customers before collecting any personal information. D. Share customer information freely with all affiliates and third parties without any restrictions. Correct answer A. Explanation: the GLBA requires financial institutions to provide customers with a privacy notice at the time the customer relationship is established and annually thereafter. These notices must clearly inform customers about the institution's information sharing practices and the customer's right to opt out of certain sharing with non-affiliated third parties. Question: the California Consumer Privacy Act, CCPA, grants California residents the right to A. Request deletion of personal information collected by businesses. B. Receive monetary compensation for the collection of their personal data. C. Opt out of the sale of personal information by minors only. D. Share personal information with third parties without consent. Correct answer A. Explanation: the CCPA provides California residents with several key rights regarding their personal information, including the right to request the deletion of personal information that a business has collected about them. This reflects the broader rights to privacy and control over personal data afforded to consumers under the CCPA. Question: which U.S. federal law is primarily focused on providing privacy protections for electronic communications? A. The Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA A. B. The Electronic Communications Privacy Act, ECPA. C. The Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, FERPA. D. The Video Privacy Protection Act, VPPA. Correct answer B. Explanation: the Electronic Communications Privacy Act, ECPA, is a U.S. federal law that provides privacy protections for electronic communications. It prohibits unauthorized interception, access, and disclosure of wire, oral, and electronic communications, addressing evolving privacy concerns related to digital communication technologies.